very good morning, good evening, good afternoon to you, wherever you might be in the world. Welcome to the channel or welcome back. Before I talk about today's video, I just want to say a big thank you to those people that are subscribing to the channel. I really appreciate it, and I really appreciate when people actually engage with me, even if that's just by liking the videos. I particularly like trying to have a conversation with people as best we can. When you leave a comment, and sometimes I can respond to it actually on this Sunday video. Anyway, what else would I like to say? Look, if you're new to the channel, you might not be aware of the timing chapters that I've got in the description, and that's to make it easier for you to access the information that you're interested in, because time is a premium, of course, for all of us, and it just helps. You don't have to watch the whole video then if that's not what you're into. If you don't have a lot of time, you can just go to the areas of interest for you. What else can I say? Just quite simply, leave me a comment. Let me know where you're from. I'd love to know. Here in Western Australia, which is where I'm at, the weather is bitterly cold today. And if you can hear squeaky toys in the background, that'll be my little boy who's full on. And I'm just going to ignore him today the best I can. As far as health goes, yes, I am still struggling with the shingles. I hate mentioning that word. It's just so horrible. But yeah, I am still suffering from it. Apparently it lasts anywhere from 2 weeks to 4 weeks. So I'm on week 3 now, and I'm starting to see improvement with the pain. But hopefully by the end of the week, I'll be well back on track. In the meantime, let's jump into today's content, because I've got some contemplations, reflections, and if you like, some awareness that's happened in my life more recently, and I thought it might be something that you could relate to. And of course, it does relate to reflections. And I've decided to keep this particular image here quite simply because I really like cats, and I like this image, and it specifically relates to what I'm going to be talking about today. I just love the aloofness of cats. Anyway, the reflection is actually to do with understanding the law of reflection, I guess, if nothing else, and to talk about it in a way that is, I suppose, draws a picture of how it works, for at least for me, and what my beliefs are, which is there's 2 ways of interpreting reflection. You'll hear a lot of people turn around and say stuff like, you only notice in other people what you carry within yourself. Sometimes that is correct. I don't believe always. I think other people, what we see in them and we observe, can reflect back to us our moral position. It doesn't mean that what we see in them is a reflection of who and what we are specifically, like we carry those traits, especially if they're unattractive traits. But what it means is we can recognize it, and that is empowering, because we can then discern from that information or from our observations part of who and what we are, what is our core moral principles. However, today I'm going to talk about my other understanding of the law of reflection. So without further ado, let's get into it. So the type of reflection that I'm talking about is where we recognize that we have a problem that we're trying to work through or work with, and we're trying to find the solutions. So we're putting it out there to the universe, asking, if you like. It could be through prayer, it could be through invocation, it could be through trying to find practical resources and supportive people. But either way, the process is one where we're looking and looking and looking for solutions, and they seem to escape us. And often, well, this was my observation. Often the solutions are right in front of them or in front of us, but we don't actually see them because we have got a narrow perspective. Now, to put this into perspective, and where other people reflect to us, is there's 2 ways of looking at it. There's like the cat sitting inside the house looking out the window, or there is standing outside of the window and looking for solutions. So some of it's internal and some of it's external. And when we're standing in the house, this is about perspective. And I'll try and put some images up on the next slide. So basically, the situation with perspective is obviously we can have a narrow perspective or a narrow view of the situation. And when we're standing inside a window looking outwards, looking and watching other people, then that's kind of like having tunnel vision, if you like. And this is why I've put this image up here. It means that it's kind of only a linear view that we're taking of the world. So the reflection is we see what is directly in front of us, but we don't necessarily see what's on the peripherals because, as you will know, if you actually are sitting inside now and looking out your house window, you will know that you can only see directly in front of you. There's nothing on the right except for a wall. In my instance, there's nothing on the left except for another wall. So all I can see is what is right out the front. So I don't have a full view of potential solutions. And the only way we can see and recognize where our blocks and barriers are, I guess, if we've got this narrow view, is actually through the reflection of other people. And this has become the observation that I have made this week. This is where this awareness comes in for me, is because I would say probably over the last couple of months, I've been looking at people, seeing them asking for help, and to be quite honest, getting a little bit frustrated by more than one of them, because it's like they ask for help, they want help in certain areas of their life or whatever, but when they're offered help, they decline it. Oh, no, thank you, very politely, no, thank you. And it's been on the tip of my tongue to say to people, do you want to have your problem solved? Or do you just want to talk about your problems? Because if you want to solve your problems, you're going to have to be open to receive. You've got to drop those barriers. Now, how I came to this awareness was through the recognition this week that I actually was blocking myself because I was declining. So that is, I was not being receptive to the support that was coming to me. So I'll go on to the next image here, or the next slide, to explain it a bit further. An expanded perspective offers different ways of looking at problems. So I've put the two images up here because you can see the image on the left is basically it's a bird's eye perspective, and we get this when we're flying in planes or however when we're airborne and we're able to look down and we can see over a wide distance, you know what I mean? We see everything that's going on there. The other thing is, I put the owl in here because clearly, if you know anything about owls, you will know that they can actually rotate their head almost 360 degrees. And so, going back to the comparison with the window, if you step outside your front door and face the road, you can, out your peripheral vision without even turning your head, most of us can actually see what's to the right and left of us, what's in front of us, and we can actually then turn around and face the house, if you like, or your unit where you live, and you can see a greater expansion of what's going on directly out the front of your house. So this expanded perspective, you can have tunnel vision, or you can have the sitting inside the window, which is the tunnel perspective, or you can widen your perspective by stepping outside your comfort zone, really. And so this is what has happened for me this week, and this is why I'm speaking about this, is because I realised, actually I've had a few blessings this week. So obviously recognising that that the people around me that were blocking themselves from having their solutions, if you like, were reflecting to me that I had a block, but I hadn't worked it out at that particular point. I recognised it after my solutions presented, and I knee-jerk reacted to decline help, the same as the other people. And then I was reminded, as I went through it, of my lesson years ago that I'd taken on board, and I obviously forgot in this situation, which was to be able to receive that support, we need to be open. That means not saying no to people when they offer help, and also being able to recognise when the blessings have turned up. I think it helps to keep a sense of humour when we recognise, I suppose, our shortfalls. So to put this in, without going into too much detail, because I don't want to bore you with stuff that goes on in my life, but for a couple of years now, I've actually been navigating a particularly difficult problem and not knowing how to surmount it, and putting it out to the universe for assistance and support. And because these are practical, I'm looking for practical solutions to earth-based problems, was where I would go with this. Anyway, what's happened over the last couple of weeks? 4 people, shall we say, have stepped up to the plate with independent skills for me to draw upon as part of solving this bigger problem. And initially, with each one of them, instead of saying thank you and responding to it, I didn't. Well, I did say yes eventually and thank you, but I dragged my toes for a little bit. There's that resistance to change, if you like, falling into that rut and becoming stuck into it. And then I realised, because I had, I suppose, the multitude coming forth within this space of time, you may as well say, look, one a week offering support. And it becomes then holistic support. It's collaborative, it's teamwork, working together to resolve this problem. And I think it was with the 4th one, I suddenly had this awakening, because I did my auto-reflexive response of, oh, I'm not sure, I don't know if I really want to do that, before I realised, what I'm saying about everybody else is, if you're going to have a problem and you're asking for help, then you have to be open to receive. And that is also being open to seeing these solutions present and recognizing that this is the universe coming together. These are the divine solutions to big problems. And really, the answer is say yes, feel the fear, do it anyway, and say thank you. Gratitude is pivotal to it. So anyway, that's my little wisdom tidbit this week, okay, based upon my own reflections. If you've got one that you can relate to, please let us know how it's worked out for you. Have you had these kind of solutions? Did you reach this awareness within yourself about being open and receptive? Most of us can give really well. I believe most of us can. I mean, life is cyclical. Not everybody can give as much as they would like as well. But at the same time, I like to believe that most people are givers, and quite often the ones, anyway, whether there's an abundance of them or not, is actually irrelevant. Most people that are really good at gifting actually are not so good at receiving help when they need it. And that's something to remember as well. We're not expected to be 10 foot tall and bulletproof. We all have vulnerabilities, and it's okay to ask for help. And don't, just accept. Release resistance would be my tidbits for today. So as far as the next event goes, I think that's on August the 9th, without checking my calendar right now. I have promoted it already, so the tickets are there to be released. Last one, of course, absolutely beautiful, great bunch of people, really nice. So if you want to get a ticket and come along, not only have I scheduled the event, I've actually been buying crystals, because it can take a long time for them to actually be delivered sometimes. Sometimes they might get stuck in quarantine or whatever when I'm importing them. But anyway, so I've been buying up in advance, and basically sitting here at the moment going like, oh my gosh, did I really need to buy all of that? But the other thing is too, I can't even remember everything that I've bought right now, but I do have some lovely pieces that will be at affordable prices that I intend to take to the next event. And I'm quite pleased with the product that I've got so far, but I've got two, maybe 3 more consignments coming. And the other thing is, I have looked at how to do the transporting of stuff to the venues. As I've said previously, I struggle a bit with carrying the boxes and that. So guess what I have done? I've bought some luggage, and I'm going to pack suitcases on wheels with those little handles, pull along luggage. That's what I've done. So I'm going to test that out next time as well. Hopefully I will see you there if you're a local. So as far as the web development goes, I'm really sorry I'm disappointing you again this week. I had hoped actually to do some today before I did this video. I'm doing this video quite late today. It's at 3:35 p.m. that I'm recording it. and I'm recording it so late because I really wanted to put on this slide that I'd done some work on the website. However, realistically, I ran out of steam this morning. I had to do some other stuff, and because I'm still recovering, I seem to... well, if you've listened to my other videos, you'll know I call them wellness windows. Every now and again, I feel well enough to do some work. And because I've been falling behind on the YouTube video content, I actually have been working on that this morning as opposed to the web development. And I was working on it yesterday, just trying to get on top of things and get things sorted out. And the consequence is that I still have to do some of the priority stuff, which is, of course, this content, which is getting a bit stale, this slide now. My full intention is, though, over the next week, because I'm putting it out there to the universe, that I'm going to have longer wellness periods, and I'll be able to get through some of this content on the website because I will be on top of the YouTube channel stuff. These, of course, are the priority ones that I want to look at. But there is other stuff that's right up there as a priority for me to do as well. It's like I've got so many competing priorities with the website development at the moment, and getting frustrated myself because I actually don't have the energy to get through it. Such is life. Finishing the content on chakras and auras is actually up there as one of my priorities as well. Oh gosh, gee, I just don't know where to start, really. I'll think about that tomorrow. I can feel my brain hurting already. So when it comes to the Crystal Magic update, this is not just about the videos going on to the channel, but also about some of the product that I've bought. And this week I had the most in a consignment. Actually, there's a story attached to that. It's really bad, actually. It was the same driver as last week, who knew what I looked like with the shingles, fortunately, because he's delivered before. But either way, he brought a box through that, the sodalite towers that I ordered, and I only ordered 2 of the bigger ones because I thought, well, I just want to have samples. I want to check the product out first and make sure it's good quality for the money. And I can honestly say they are the most beautiful sodalite that I have ever seen. As far as the depth of blue goes, it is natural. I haven't been able to get from the supplier where it actually came from, though, because it's just so hard to explain what they look like, but they look so nice. I want to hold on to both towers, but I'm quite happy to show them to people at the community event, because I don't think, in all honesty, that if I take a photograph of them, it's not going to do the colour justice, because obviously the photos that I looked of it when I bought it didn't do it justice. These are far better than I actually thought. The other one that I've got is actually, I didn't buy a lot of them. Once again, I wanted to check out the quality, find out about the supplier because it's a new supplier. I've got some ruby zoisite, and I might save that information for the video because that'll be going up in the next couple of weeks. But what I will say is it was mislabeled, and I recognised that it was mislabeled when I was looking at the photographs, because I was like, that is not, it was being sold as Epido. I know it wasn't Epido. I thought it absolutely is not. I can't remember what it was, I thought, but I want to take a good look at it and then decide from there. So yeah, it's ruby and zoisite, and bottom line is epidote and zoisite are 2 completely different crystals, and ruby doesn't form in epidote. It will form in zoisite and fuchsite, though, because they need different conditions to grow. The other thing is I had some blue apatite towers, wonderful colouring with those as well, and I've managed to get some green and blue aventurine towers, really lovely ones once again, so I've been very lucky. So anyway, that's just some of the newly arrived. And coming up, I actually can't even remember what I've ordered now, not at this particular time. I do know that I've got some... I do. I've got some black flower agate coming. I have got some chrysanthemum towers. I have got some... I've got my flower agate towers have arrived, or points. And I've got some tumbles of that coming as well. So I'll update you next week. Hopefully it'll be here in a week or 2. Speaking of flower agate, that video has been loaded now and published, so you can find that on the playlist. And I do apologise. This is one of the areas I fell behind this week. It was supposed to be published on Tuesday, but I didn't manage to get it out until Thursday, like I say, because of health. And that, of course, created some extra delays with publishing the Orca agate. And the Orca agate was published on Friday. Yeah, because I didn't want to double up on any other day. I had to try and push through it. Now, with the Orca agate, I do have a supplier, but they're out of stock with a good price. So they reckon they'll have some more in stock, I think, next week, probably in the early part. So I'll be touching base with them, because what I'm trying to do, or what I'm trying to purchase from them before they sold out, was actually Orca palm stones, because I think they're going to be stunning. What I've seen is they're absolutely stunning. Next week, the video, I'm still working on this one, that'll be loaded on Tuesday, is actually Kambaba jasper. As you can see, looking at this, it's a very interesting looking crystal, and being associated with the green, it's going to be heart chakra based. I'm also in the process of developing the video for Septarian stone, so that can be published on Thursday. Now, Septarian is actually a really interesting crystal. I've seen it before. It's not new to me. It's one side I saw that it was a fairly new crystal. I don't know in whose world it would be considered fairly new, because, or how do we define fairly new? I'm pretty sure that I first saw it in about 2007, maybe 2008. But either way, where I'm going with this is I've never actually owned a piece of it. For some reason, I wasn't drawn to it back in the day. I'm not specifically drawn to it now either, but I can appreciate the benefits, and I know there are people that will absolutely love it. It's just got a whole range of properties associated with it, and it truly is very pretty. Oh, and I can't remember if I've ordered any of these. I think I have ordered it, because I know people will love it when they hold it. So, my friends, a very short video this week. I'm going to call a close on it now and say thank you very much for your patience and being part of my journey. I actually am still quite fatigued at the moment. The weather is dreadful. It has been raining torrents this afternoon and the house is freezing. So I may actually just go and put myself to bed, and I'll check in later. But hopefully I can stick to my timetable this week, my time scheduling, and get all the videos loaded that I want to get loaded, and also update the website as I would like to do, so that you can access the information. If you've got experience with any of the crystals that I put up, please do feel free to make your comments and to correct me if you think I'm wrong on anything, or if you think that I've been too narrow in information that I provide to you. By all means, just make your comments, because, as I always say, the more information we throw into the mix, the more we all grow. Some things will resonate with some people, some things won't, and that's okay, because that's life, isn't it, in general? But anyway, for now, I'm going to say, look, thank you very much. Have a wonderful week. Take care of yourselves. Love you, leave you. Catch you on the next one. Bye-bye for now.